What's going on, guys? We are back with another video with the R7, and I wasn't going to ride this thing again today, but the weather is just too good to pass up, so I figured I might as well just go make a video for you guys while I can. I think it's going to start raining tomorrow, so I definitely just want to take advantage of it. I was doing a quick video for social media in my garage, so I put my plate up, so let me fix that. Much better so now it draws less attention to me. Before I pull out of the garage, you guys got to hear this exhaust inside here. It sounds so crazy. Hopefully it picks up how loud it is. And don't worry, the bike, I just rode it earlier, so it's already kind of warm. That's just like 4,000 RPMs. Alright, so let's head out. I just realized I probably should have swapped my visor because I think it's going to get dark soon, so I need to get going. And so what I want to talk to you guys today about is cars versus motorcycles. So if you don't know, I came from only being a car guy, and I got into motorcycles not too long ago. Basically, I've been obsessed about cars ever since I was a kid, and I always thought motorcycles were cool too, but the first time I even asked to get one, my dad was like, nah, you ain't getting one of those, that's a death trap. Which I respected, because I was living with my parents, so I of course respect their wishes, which each and every one of you should do if your parents don't agree with it. So I mean, I thought motorcycles were cool once I was growing up, and the only one I knew about was like Ducati. And then I also remember going to a car meet one time, like 5 years ago probably now, and I remember taking a picture, and I was like, if I get a bike, this is the exact one I want. And it was, and now looking back on it, it was a Black Raven R6. I want to say that's like a 2008 or 2009. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because it had like a satin black paint, and it had also like these bronze wheels. And I just thought that bike looked so sick. I was like, I want one of those someday. And I didn't even know what it was or anything about it. But I just like the look of it. Kind of like the first bike that caught my attention, but I mean, at that time I had no intention of even getting one. And then growing up, car I learned the first drive on was a 06 E55 AMG, and that was my dad's. And I also drove just some of his cars while I was in high school. 2016 Cadillac ATS-V. People get that confused a lot with the CTS-V, but the ATS-V was a twin turbo V6, like 464 horsepower, so it was a fun car. And then my first car was a Camaro. It was a 2017 RS, and it was a V6, wasn't a V8. And at the time I would have probably been like, yeah, I want a V8, but looking back on it, that was definitely a smart decision to me getting a V6, because I would have hurt myself. I was not a smart kid, just flooring it at every single chance I got. And after that, I picked up a 2015 C63S AMG Edition 1, and that's still my car to today. That thing is fully modded out, upgraded turbos, downpipes, bigger intercooler, another split cooling mod, bigger blow-off valves, what else? Changed the spark plugs on it, transmission tune, I have ECU tune, of course, with multiple maps. And that thing's also sitting on custom built 2-piece BC Forge wheels, bunch of carbon fiber, paint corrected the whole car myself in the garage, and then did ceramic coating. What else? I mean, there's a lot I've done to that car. There's like too big of a list, but anything you can do to mod that car without opening the engine, I basically did. And I did not touch the fuel system, because the stock fuel system can hold up to 850 horsepower, which worked just fine. And because the fuel system was like $5 grand, and I'm not trying to pay that for a car I daily drive. And I wouldn't even get any use out of it being more than 850 horsepower. That's just overkill for my driving style and how I use the car. The point of me telling you that is just to show you know, I've been pretty into cars for a long time, and was definitely a passion of mine, and still is a big passion of mine. And then getting motorcycle riding not too long ago has been a big switch for me, because going from cars to this in my opinion, is no comparison at all. The whole driving experience, how you feel on a bike versus how you feel in a car, it's not even like a night and day difference. It's bigger, because my car was well over 800 horsepower, and trust me, I put that thing through its paces. I wasn't just grannying that car around. And don't get me wrong, it was a ton of fun. I still love that car, I still love driving it. But once I first got on a bike, I was just like, wow, I'm hooked on this. And just driving cars hasn't been the same since. So let me kind of explain to you guys what the differences are between them from my personal view. And I think it'd be really useful to know if you're currently, you know, a car guy and thinking about switching over to bikes. So the first time I rode a bike was when I took the motorcycle safety course, which is the course I took to get my license at the end of it. And that bike that I rode then was a 250cc old Suzuki. And the feeling I had on that bike, I was hooked from that day. And I didn't even go above a speed of, I didn't even go out of second gear. I didn't even go above 25 miles an hour. And I was already hooked on the bikes. It was that quick. So now you may be thinking, like, what's the difference? So let me talk to you guys about it and really explain it. I know car enthusiasts, they like manual cars because you feel more connected to it. You feel more connected to the car. It's much more raw and a much more enjoyable experience that way than having a transmission do everything for you, think for you, make it so you have to do way less input, which is true. Manual is definitely more fun than automatic, and you feel definitely more connected to the car. But on a bike, it just takes that to a whole nother level, because on a bike you're using both hands, you're using your entire body, and you're also constantly gripping the bike with your legs. You're using your fingers, one for the clutch, one for the brake. You're using both your feet, right one for the rear brake, and you're using your left one to shift. And when you want to really lean over the bike, you really have to move your entire body and almost hang off the bike. And also, like, I'm just positioning myself right now. If I want to go faster, then I just tuck like this. Like, there are just so many things to it, and so many movements you have to do to downshift, upshift, hit your brakes. Like, everything you do, there's just so much input. Because riding a bike, you always have to be giving it 100%. There's no way where you can just, like, slack off a little bit. Like, you have to put your entire body into riding. And you have to have constant awareness. There is no, like, auto steer. There is no lane detection assistance. There is no Tesla auto cruise, whatever it's called. You have to be looking everywhere at the same time. You have to be looking at the road, what the conditions look like, if there's gravel, if the road's slick, because those will take you out. You have to be looking at any little bumps, potholes. You have to be just more conscious of so many other things. And to me, that's what I love about it. I love feeling connected, and I love feeling like I'm in control of what I'm driving. Because it's not boring at all. And you hear people always talk about the adrenaline of one of these, and by all means, they are right. And like I said, I love my car, but going from an 800 horsepower AMG to going on a motorcycle at 25 miles an hour gave me more of a thrill. Maybe it's because I was used to it, and I really just got used to that car, but like, I've never felt adrenaline the way that I feel on one of these ever in my life. And I can honestly say that. Bikes are just on a whole nother level. And that's why, like, I don't ever see myself getting off of one of these. I just see myself wanting to upgrade, and keep getting more bikes, keep going up in the power levels, while also enjoying making myself a better rider, because also this point right here is why I really like bikes, is because it's not just pay to win necessarily, because anybody can get in a all-wheel drive 1,000 horsepower car, floor it, go in a straight line, and just beat anybody else in a car. It doesn't really take any skill. No offense, please don't get offended, but If someone's in an all-wheel drive automatic car, 1,000 horsepower, all set up, anybody can get in that and just floor it. But on a motorcycle, it takes serious skill. No matter what power level you're at, there's someone who can, because if it's a good enough rider, there's some guy on a 30 horsepower bike who can beat someone on a 200 horsepower bike. It depends on how he is as a rider, and that's what I like about bikes, because it takes a lot more skill, and it's not like you can just hop in it and you're done. So yeah, that's what I find really awesome about bikes too. Because literally, like, an experienced rider on a $3,000 bike can beat a low experienced rider on a $100,000 bike. And that's what I really like about motorcycle riding. But now I only talked about good things, so what are the cons? So I feel like these are going to be pretty self-explanatory, but I still want to go over them, is that motorcycles are extremely dangerous. And the likelihood of you getting seriously injured, dying, paralyzed, losing an arm, losing a leg, losing a foot on one of these is so astronomically higher than if you got in a car accident. It's not even funny. So that's like the trade-off right there. Because you're getting something that's a lot more fun, in my opinion, but it's a lot more dangerous. And also another thing with motorcycles is you may not want to ride them every day. And I'm talking about in the aspect of weather. If it's raining a ton, I don't want to be on a bike. I'd rather be on four wheels and know I'm safe in the car and not being thrown around by wind and rain and whatever's out there. And because it's so easy to drop one of these just off a little puddle of oil. Imagine a whole monsoon of rain. Also is because you can't really bring them much with you. Like, there's no storage on a bike. There's this little rear seat, and that's about it. And you have, or you can bring a backpack, and whatever you fit in there is what you can take. So they're a lot less convenient and useful. Also because if you want to be a responsible rider, before you go out, you have to throw on the helmet, you got to throw on boots, you got to throw on a jacket, gloves, make sure you're all set, and make sure you're feeling good as a person, because like I said, motorcycle riding takes your 100% focus and attention. So I don't think you guys should be on one of these if you're really tired, not feeling good, because you need your mind to be 100% focused on everything around you, because all it takes is a split second to die on one of these things. While in the car, it takes a lot less effort. And like I said, safety wise, if you're in a car and you get in a horrible accident, your car flips over a couple times, like something really bad, you can still walk away just fine. But on a bike, you can even fall off of it at 5 miles an hour and snap your leg. So safety wise, it's a big risk you're taking. So just know that and accept that before getting into it. And even if you're the best rider, it's not usually the rider who is at fault in a lot of these instances where motorcycle riders die. It's usually at the fault of another car because they didn't see them, they weren't paying attention, so many things, because motorcycles are so small in comparison to a car, you know. It's easy to not see one in a blind spot. And so even though you're in control, you're also putting your life into the hands of others, because it's so easy to get taken out, you know. This thing's 400 pounds, and that SUV right there is 5,500 pounds. I don't stand a chance against that. Do I regret getting into motorcycles? Not at all. I am hooked on these things. I love them, and I want to ride them for as long as I can. What's kind of like my final overview on them versus cars? So kind of like my view on cars now is I only ride them if I have to go pick up some stuff from the store, do some errands, maybe go grab a bite to eat with my girl. If I'm going to be out for a couple hours, you know, I don't want to be on this thing for a couple hours, you know. I'd rather be more comfortable. So basically, if I just want to be comfortable and have some creature comforts, you'll find me in a car. But if I want to go have some fun, if I want to go enjoy the roads, feel some adrenaline, and just have an enjoyable time out of the house, you're going to find me on two wheels. Are motorcycles better than cars? No. Are cars better than motorcycles? No. It just depends on who's driving, depends on who's riding, and that person's lifestyle, because everybody's different. So there's no one answer fits all. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you had a similar experience going from only being into cars to being into motorcycles as well. I'd be really interested to hear your guys' thoughts too.